And we're back. Back in the room. Welcome, everybody. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Hope you're all doing well. Chaos. Absolute chaos in this market, isn't it? Anyone who's joined me this week, you would have heard me say the same thing. We need to play defense. You need to be aware of headline news. And yesterday morning, we talked about this market is desperate for any sort of relief and bullish sentiment. How did we know that? We knew it by the fake news on Monday, which turned out not to be so fake, didn't it? It turned out to be absolutely real. Clearly, Trump and his cronies hadn't bought enough calls, so they needed to delay that a few days. And I don't think the bond auction helped them either. That forced them into that decision yesterday. But you saw the relief on that. Now, one thing I want to talk about is, yes, it's been a huge relief, all right? That is your annual gain in one day. Annually, we normally do 11%. 8 to 11% annually if you invest in ETFs on the Nasdaq. We did it in one day yesterday. But has anything changed? Has it really changed? You've got to ask yourself that a little bit. 90-day pause, fantastic. Still tariffs on Mexico, still tariffs on Canada, and still increasing tariffs on China. So until those go away and we do a deal, this is nothing more than relief. That said, can we think about a second leg of relief? Absolutely. We always think about second legs of relief, don't we? So before I get into the charts today, just remember, go through your checklist. Are you feeling okay? Are you mentally fit and able? Did you go on tilt yesterday? If you went on tilt yesterday, maybe take the day off, trade sim, back off. This is not an easy market to trade right now. The range is absolutely massive. If you're not feeling up to it, please do not be trading, all right? Live to fight another day. We talk about it all the time. We play defense. At some point, this market will become a bit easier where you don't need to be risking 200-300 points a trade. All right, so this is not usual. Anyone that tells you you've seen this before, I'm calling BS. No one has ever seen a market like this before. It's completely unusual. It's nuts. So go through your morning checklist. Have you eaten enough, drunk enough? Have you done your morning routine, meditation, gone for a walk, gone to the gym, all those things. As always, though, starting off in the higher time frame charts. All right, folks, in the higher time frame charts. Here's your daily. Here's your casual move from 16,400 all the way up to 19,400. 3,000 points. It's normal, though. It's normal. Wild. All right, so what happened here? Let's just think back. This area here was higher time frame demand, old RBS. All right, we dipped in once, we dipped in twice, we held it. We reclaimed what? Bollinger Bands. We reclaimed 5-day. Where do we go once we reclaim 5-day? Normally, this takes quite a few days to happen. We go to the 20-day. All right, mean reversion has been completed. Bollinger Band to 20-day. This has been executed and completed. All right, so a hell of a move. We have an old gap up here. You can see from this gap down from Wednesday the 2nd to Thursday the 3rd. Right, we're starting to fill that gap. We've almost filled it all the way up to 19,000. Just call it 600, 19,600. What is possible today then? Well, what's possible today is that we try and put in a daily higher low. All right, a daily higher low is how we can think about a possible shift in momentum, isn't it? Because yes, this is a big shift, but we need to see structure. A daily higher low in here would allow us for this slingshot back upside. So today I'm looking at dips into these levels, all right, into where we broke out from yesterday or above that as well. We can, and it might not go, if we're looking for dips today, it doesn't mean it has to do this move today. It might need to build this today, maybe even tomorrow if it really wants, for this slingshot. Where's my target? Well, I'm looking for that 20,000, 20,000, whatever this high is, 50s. All right, I think we can gap fill 20,000, 19,550, 20,000 and 20,056. It's very, very doable. Doesn't have to happen today, remember, folks. Doesn't have to happen today. Moving to the hourly chart then. And you can see here on the hourly how thin we are. All right, point of control yesterday left down at 17,400. All right, and we gapped up. We ripped higher. No, I didn't say we gapped up. We just ripped higher. All right, so when we leave point of control down here and we're up here, we're bullish. All right, sentiment is bullish because we haven't built a huge amount of volume up here. We left volume down here, we left sellers trapped, and we ripped higher, which means I'm looking for pullbacks to go higher, okay? Where are the levels? Well, we've definitely got a key level here overnight. You can see it right here, this sort of shelf. So ideally, we run that shelf and turn around. We're building out a flag here on the hourly. Ideally, we run that shelf, turn around and go higher, build that flag. Alternatively, if it wants to come and backtest this area here where we broke out from, let's just call it 18,300, probably all the way down to 18,000, but 18,300. If it builds liquidity here and here and here, we can think about this returning to go up, can't we? We can think about that move. Now up here today, on the 5 minute, I changed it to a 30 minute and I put a TPO on. I very, very, very rarely do this because I can see enough from my session volume down here, but I wanted to do it just so I can show you how thin that move was yesterday. Now, if you don't understand how TPO works, every single block here represents 30 minutes of price action. When we have volume, we build blocks on top of each other like this. This is how we know we have volume. When we rip fast, look how quick this is. These are called single prints. All right. This, normally you see this at the bottom side of an auction or the top side, because normally this represents long wicks, right? That makes sense, doesn't it? We have a long wick up here, we expect downside auction. We have a long wick down here, we expect upside auction. This has been left in the middle, which shows how fast and how thin this auction was yesterday on that tariff news. So because of that and because of where it's positioned, what am I really interested in? Either holding this range to go higher or holding the top of this level here and value area high from a few days ago to go higher. If we let go of these levels and the 5-day, you need to be so careful because there is nothing in here. And this might look small, but 18,200 down to 17,600, 800 points can happen in a flash. Just as quick as we went up, we can go back down. So you've got to be aware of it. It's the only reason I'm putting it on here today. Do not be the person adding dips. You don't see that turnaround and you go, F it, I'm going to add more and add more and add more, because I tell you what, you're going to finish up down here and start crying. All right, so just be careful, understand what's happening right now in this market. Like I said, it's not all good news, all right, but definitely there's been a momentum shift. Moving into the overnight session, all right, you can see we left previous day high up here. We left PDC or settlement up here, and we're gapping down. This gap is big. Don't get confused by these charts. This gap is big. We gapped from 19,286 all the way down to 18,700. All right, so almost 600 points there, 500 to 600 points there. That's massive. That's bigger than your normal range on the day. Just understand the size of these candles. If you're only coming to the charts with me today, if this is your first time, you have to understand these candles are based on the size to the left of them. Okay, so what looks like a 5-10 point candle is more likely to be a 50, 60, 100, 200 point candle. 200 point candle. All right, be very, very careful with your sizing in this market. So you can see here my game plan right here. All right, 1, 2, 3. We've dipped in a few times. If we hold this and go, fantastic. Even better if we dip underneath, wash it and go, fantastic. If we're going to get heavier, all right, then a rotation down into where we broke out from. We talked about this on the higher time frame for return back up. So I'm looking for dips really either into here, failed breakout, taking the reversal play, or if we come down into here, fantastic, even better, and we show strength, I'll be buying dips today. That's what I'm looking for. If we let go of this blue zone and we get stuck here, this is where my sentiment will shift to short, and I'll be thinking about, was all that a huge pump for no reason, and are we coming all the way back down to where we broke out from? Remember, this, like I showed you on the TPO, is very, very thin. But really, I'm looking for a second leg of follow through here, or at least to retest and close this gap up here. That's what I'd like. Looking at the VIX down at 35s, right? Big fall. We talked about that yesterday. The chance of the VIX sustaining bids about above 50 and 60s is very, very slim. If you look at historically, the VIX will do a huge move up and it will have a massive pullback, few days, and then maybe rally again. All right, so that's starting to play out in the VIX. I'm going to just go through the mag here. Let's go into 5 minute because we are seeing a bit of divergence between some of the mag names. Apple remains heavy. All right, Apple heavier. Why? It's reliant on China. All right, I talked about this yesterday. It's reliant on China. It doesn't matter about these tariffs. If he does not sort out, yes, you've paused 90 days, big whoopee-doo, you haven't done anything with China. Where does Apple get all their phones from? Where did they fly 5 planes full of phones over yesterday before the midnight? From China. Okay, so this company here cares about China. So you got to be careful. It might have relative weakness unless he comes out with some news. Obviously, headline news will change everything. So right now, same kind of story. We're gapping down. It's coming into a key area here. It needs to find a bid here. Failure to do so might cause a rotation on Apple. Meta doesn't rely on China so much. Microsoft doesn't rely on China so much. Not as much as Apple. It has relative strength here. Good drive up, holding on VWAP. Amazon, again, kind of a bit of an anomaly here. Yes, some products come from there, but so much of its profit comes from the cloud and stuff. Possible rally higher today, definitely possible. Goog, same thing, very much like Amazon. Nice broad company, based a lot of stuff on cloud and software rather than tech itself or hardware. Meta, same story, obviously social media based, holding its gains very, very well. Nvidia, a little bit weaker. All right, this one will matter what China says, but a huge relief rally here. So you can see the same thing that it's looking for. And Tesla, same kind of thing. All right, so across the board, same kind of thing right now. Can they hold some key levels to go higher? That's what you're looking for. That is the sentiment. That's what we'd like to see in this market today. That should have you pretty much covered. Let's have a look. Oh, I've already put this on the wrong one. Let's get that back. Let's have a look at the spiders and the ES. So if you're trading the ES today, this level that we're looking at here on the ES is the equivalent of 5,350. All right. If we drop below 5,350, then you're looking to see if it holds 5,300. It needs to be holding those levels on the ES if you're going to remain bullish for sentiment on the day. A little sweep below any of those levels and a turn back upside is fine. In fact, that's even better. That's the kind of trade I like. Trap the shorts and then go back upside. But if you start getting heavy underneath 5,300 on the ES, look out below. Like we said, it's the same situation as on the Qs. That you have that TPO, single prints. If it wants to go and fill it, just be very, very careful. If you're trading the ETFs today, all right, if you're looking at the SPY, really you're looking at that pre-market low. Same kind of level as the ES, 530.66, might as well call it 530.50. If it fails that, then you're looking for that old RBS level, so 525 all the way down to 520, 518. You're looking for those levels to hold on dips on the spiders today if they're really going to have that second leg higher. Again, if you're trading QQQ as an ETF, that overnight shelf is really 551.30s. All right, failure under that might see a rotation down to your RBS level. That would be to fill down to 443, 445, somewhere around that. You'd want it to sustain some bids to put in that inverse head. Failure to do that, again, look out below. We can go right back to where we came from, 525. Do I think that's going to happen? I don't think that's going to happen. 10% up day, 10% down day, I find that hard to believe. I think we're looking at a pullback day. The question is, do the buyers come back in today for that rally higher? Or do we create that inside bar on the daily and we go for that push higher tomorrow? I think that's the question that I'm posing in my head right now. Those are the conditions and things I'm thinking about. Let's go through some chat before we get into this opening bell. Wow, Clint not the first one this morning. He only made it second. Good morning, Marek. Good morning, Clint. Good morning, Miguel. Coop, Logan, Jeff, John, Dopamine, Arturo, Ramos, Michael Pope, Vince, Kaladin, DK, Christy, Glenn. 30-year bond auction at 1 o'clock Eastern. Yes, I will be long gone by then. I don't want to hang around for that because based on yesterday, it could get a little bit wild and the CPI print. Trentry, I didn't talk about CPI. We'll talk about that in a minute. Trentry, good morning. Mindful Matters, Exister, Jesse, JD, Array, Peter, Exister, Paul, Minix, Liron, Juan Carlos, Indicator, Stephen W, TR, Brandon, DJ Noah, BU, Thumper, Jack, Camille, AJ, Scrooge. God, I've got so many of you in here today. Aid, Eva, Govindi, Mike, Stephen C, DPFW, Alan, Omalabi, Aaron, Lindell, John Dennis, Ash. Good morning, everyone. Morning. Yes, CPI. I didn't talk about CPI. We had that print about an hour ago now. Market about to open, and it came in cool across the board, which is good for the Fed. It means it might allow them to make a cut. All right. The worry was that we wouldn't be able to have any cuts this year. Originally, we were thinking between 2 and 4. We started to get more and more worried that maybe a cut wasn't going to happen. But that inflation print this morning was bullish. It was good. Obviously, we are already up, 3,000 points off that low that we put in overnight yesterday. So hard to price too much in, but we would like a slingshot higher. We just need to get involved lower. Ideally, all the way down here. That would give us amazing risk reward. Here we go, market open. Let's see what we get here, folks. Let's just be nice and chill this morning. See what we're going to get. Take our time. Let it build out some structure and go from there. My book map here so I can see the liquidity. All right, some buys on the tape down at 18,700 right now. Yeah, Camille saying so many names and only 31 likes, guys. Come on, I totally agree. Smash that like button for me, please. Smash the like button for me. All right, be very, very careful here as they start to come into the market and jostle for position. Just trying to get all my charts zoomed in so I can see all the key levels properly on all the ETFs very, very quickly as I need to. I would love lower prices to bid it back up. That's what I'd really like. A break of these levels here, a wash and return, or something down here. If it's going to do this, then I'll consider a join over VWAP maybe, if it's really going to prove itself. But let's just wait and see what we get here this morning. If you didn't see, I posted a new video last night. I'm going to post it in chat now. If you're new, if you're looking for a prop firm, if you want to understand how prop firms work, what type of trader they're good for, whether they might be good for you, there's the video. Just posted it in chat. Do me a favor, watch that video, drop me a comment, hit the like on it. It would be appreciated. All right, drifting down then into these overnight lows right now. Into overnight lows. We're going to see if we get a snap there and then a pullback inside, or if they want to actually stay heavy here. Having a look at the market, obviously we've gapped down in the market today. Tesla 5.5% down, Nvidia 5% down, Meta 1.5% down, Google 1.66% down, Amazon over 3% down, Microsoft 2.5% down, Apple almost 4% down. All right, so it might sound bad, but most of those were 10, 11% up yet last night, or yet going into the close yesterday, I should say. Govindi, yeah, I know, I agree. I probably give too much away for free. But hey, here for the community, and if you want to join the team and learn more advanced stuff, you're more than welcome. So far, protecting that overnight low. Finding a bid off it across the board right now. I'd love to see it move lower first. I really would love to see it move lower first, then get involved for a buy. I want to see shorts trapped in. I want to see some exhaustion to the short side. And a good old rally come in. That's what I'd like. Already this morning, we've had over 100 points in those first 3 minutes. So 100 points down, 100 points up. What a market. What a market. Remember, if you're not comfortable trading this market, you don't need to trade it. All right? No one's forcing your hand to trade this market. It is a very, very tricky market to trade. It moves very, very quick with huge size and huge ATR. Your current M1 candles are 101 points. All right? So do not force your way in. If you're not comfortable, just sit and watch, because at some point, this volatility will calm down a bit and go back to normal. Personally, I'm looking forward to having 20 and 30 point candles as a normal again, instead of these 100, 200, or like yesterday, 700 point M1 candle with halts in it. I mean, it's like trading small caps right now, trading the Nasdaq. So far we're holding these blue levels. I'd really like to see it push underneath first, but if it's not willing to, if we can get over here, then I'll think about a long up there also. And we're going to target gap fill and previous day high, but really I'd like it to move lower first. Let's see. Let's see, folks. Remember, CPI was good. Market had a good rebound yesterday. But we might have done too much too quickly yesterday. Might need to digest it a little bit. It is very possible today we go sideways. We can, like we said, on the daily, we can build out a bull flag, which would mean an inside bar on the daily. Nice and calm. No trades for me yet. Just sitting down, waiting. ES coming back towards its overnight low right now. That overnight low on ES 59.75, 359.75. On the Qs, really we're looking for it to take out some of these guys. 700s really. Can we take out 700s and then get a turn back inside? If we can't get the turn back inside and we stay heavy, then I'm going to be expecting it to drift all the way down into 300s. Wild, isn't it? If we can't hold 700s, I'm expecting it to drift into 300s. And I'm still looking for bullish sentiment down there. I mean, it is crazy to think I'm going to let that just go 400 points lower and then get involved. We could do it in a matter of minutes. It's absolutely wild market. So far, just building around these flow zones, building around that New York Open, which I forgot to put in. Holding New York Open for now. Hey. Morning, Mr. Slim. Morning, Jeffrey. Morning, Willa. Morning, Ag. I hope you're all good. Just got to wait here, folks. Not going to join an 130 point of back and forth. Let it pick its decision, see what it wants to do. If it's going to wash, and we can join in. Remember, if this wants to give it all back, it's welcome to give it all back. It will make it very hard to trade if it's going to do that, but it's able to do it. Like I said, based on TPO and volume, it's able to come much, much deeper if it wants. You'd expect it to try and find a bid soon. If it can't find a bid soon, then really I can see it trading all the way down into 250. It is kind of that nuts. That's the kind of market we're in right now. Either finds a bid soon or it goes much, much lower. Because we are very thin, like we talked about. This move yesterday was a big swipe. Right, there's your swipe, push, pull, push, pull, push, pull, grind. Hold to this. If not, come back to this. Fail to hold this, just say goodnight to the market. It will just shake off everything and go lower at that point. Remember, if we get under here, think about, why am I saying that? Think about how many people chase this market up here, right? They need this to hold to go up or this to hold to go up. If it gets stuck here, these people become supply and you get a major, major waterfall moment. That was a huge reaction yesterday. Very emotional reaction, I would say, is the best way of talking about it. That was an emotional reaction yesterday. ES then, we have divergence. ES swept overnight lows there. NQ has not swept the overnight lows yet. ES has swept them, trying to find a bid here. Back to those 18,000s. Again, still a buyer on the tape here. 18,700. No big selling above. But ES has done the move that we like already. How many times are we going to say that? ES just being the much nicer trader. Already swept the overnight lows. Already turning back inside. If it's able to start shifting momentum to the upside here, ES is going to be a nice trader to the upside. We would like NQ to do what ES is doing. We'd like it to go and take the overnight lows before we think about anything else. take one side of the liquidity so we can trade up to the other side of the resting liquidity. Fairly muted open here. Fairly muted open, 135 points. Christy, I think yes, I do talk about it in the Ninja. There is a Ninja Trader video where I talk about it. But I mean, your ATM settings right now probably won't do you too many favors given the size of the market. If you normally have an ATM stop in of 20, 30, 40 points right now, it's not going to help you. You're going to put a trade on and get stopped out instantly. Even the spread half the time is going to be that big. But yes, it's in the Ninja Trader video. Waiting for the new 4-hour hour, Peter? Yeah, don't blame you. Might even wait for the initial balance. Let's see. Let's see, folks. Goog trying to find a bit of a bid here. Relative strength there in the Goog. ES testing lower day. NQ not quite swept yet. We're getting close. We want to see 700s, and then we want to see how we react there. Do we turn back inside after we sweep? Or do we trade level down all the way down here? Remember, we trade level down here. This is still setting up a potential giant daily bull flag. It's hard to explain, but it is. It's hard to it's not hard to explain, but it's hard to think about a move that big potentially still being bullish for a second leg. But that is exactly what it is. You just got to ignore the size of this and just think about the structure of it. If it comes down and it holds those key levels into sort of 400s, 300s, it is possible. Absolutely possible. All right, ES swept low of day again. NQ still not taking out 700s. Still a buyer on the tape there, 100 lot. Wait and see what we get. Nice and patient here, folks. You got to be patient, because if you're thinking about the bullish moves today, it's got to come into a level of value for you, and then it's got to show you a reaction and some structure to get involved in. Right now, we're in a bearish move overnight. Right now, we're in this giant bearish move overnight, but I would expect this or this, right? It doesn't have to be today. Like I said, it can do this today and this tomorrow or next week. It's welcome to do that based on the daily chart. I need to make that clear. It doesn't have to do all these moves in one day. You might need a little bit of digestion after a move so big. Market might need to just have a moment of pause and think about, hey, what are we doing here? Is this a little bit of a short squeeze? Is this getting the opportunity for us to get out? All right, there's 700 now being swept. So how do we react here? Do we go one leg down here into 300s, watching ES to see if it's going to trade all the way down into 306 or if it's going to turn back inside here? So we've swept the overnight. This is the first key point. Can we keep drifting lower here into the next buy zone or not? Or are we going to turn? Lots of questions. Big volume so far. Move this to a 1 minute view. No, Peter, I think that's the right way to think about it. It's exactly what I'm thinking about. Lower the better in many ways. It gives me more confidence in many ways. If it wants to go and back test 375s, 300s, an old value high, area high there, 110. I mean, it's so far down, man. It's actually crazy to think about it. It can do a 600-point flush and set up the head or the daily bull flag. I mean, it's wild. The range is wild. It will be clear. If and when buyers step in, I think it will be fairly clear. I think they'll make a lot of noise when they do it. That's a return inside so far. Structure still bearish, but reclaiming Asia right now. ES has not quite done it yet. Relative weakness over on the spiders so far. SPY might come and drift a bit lower here. Maybe SPY wants to drift into sort of 25s. There's another 5 points down or 4 points. Yeah, 5 points down. We will see. Time will tell. There's your opening range now set. So we're trading near the lows of your orb right now. Finding a bid here on the ES back towards that overnight low levels, trying to trade back inside here. I'd say New York Open might be key as well here today. Still structure remains bearish, but we have now swept one level of liquidity. This is potential to shift bullish here if it wants to. It can also go down to that next leg. I need to make that absolutely clear. Testing New York here. ES starting to find a bid and reclaim. These are some of the key areas now, like we talked about. Do we move into some bullish momentum and structure here? How long we got? 15 minutes until the new H1. I think that New York Open is going to be fairly key. I'm looking to join this now, small size, for a squeeze back all the way upside. Moving my stop into the money. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Can we keep going here? Oh, let's go. The range on this is just wild, folks. Absolutely wild. Lovely trade. This is exactly what we talked about, isn't it? Sweep of this, turn back inside, joined here. If we can reclaim New York, maybe we can go for a next leg. This is a very early trade for me, but I just wanted to get a little piece on in case they're going to go turbo. Oh, all right, just in case they're going to go turbo, which is possible. I know you're going to be like, hey, it's counter trend, you're against the flow zones, all these things, but this was all laid out before the market. Remember, we said dunk under here, dunk under 700, return inside. If we can put anything in here, I'm interested. I've already locked some in. Market looks very, very good for an upside move. If we start breaking out of 870, here we go. If we start breaking out of 870, it's going to be fantastic. I want to start turning these flow zones now and start drifting higher. Want to be careful if it can't get this done before the new hourly candle. It's the one thing. Stop's already in the money, folks. All right, I'm not going to give this market any room to breathe. That's one thing I need to be clear about. No way am I giving a market with this much volatility room to breathe, because one news headline can just skip you apparently 680 points based on yesterday. All right, imagine you don't have your stop in or you get skipped 680 points. You might have seen it. I saw clips yesterday of one of the traders on Traders TV. I forget his name. He was going around social media. He got skipped yesterday. Poor guy got skipped. Wasn't his fault. Stop was in place, maybe not quite tight enough. Got skipped and lost multiple thousands when his stop loss was for $200. You could see he was absolutely shook. The nice thing was the community rallied around him and gave him some confidence. Joe, that's his name, Joe. You caught 700 points of that move yesterday, Simon. Lovely. We're looking good here, reclaiming the New York Open. If you're still in this, folks, you look good. Now we're looking for that drive into 870. If it will get to 870, we'll be happy chappies and happy lasses. And then we're going to look for a continuation squeeze back towards VWAP and to close the gap. Remember, what we would like to see, low-hanging fruit, is all the way up here today. It's absolutely nuts, but this is where it is. It's 500 points higher. All right, so this is the risk reward right now. We're in here. Here's the risk. Here's the potential reward right now. This is what we'd like to see. It won't get there in a straight line, or it's very unlikely to get there in a straight line. Hopefully you guys understand at least what I'm looking for and why. If it flushes back down, so be it. I'll lock my money in and be out. I'd like to see this sort of hold the New York Open, but we're trading midpoint right now. midpoint of that orb, right on that New York Open. Need to see some of the tech names catch a bid. Yeah, Peter, it's only 500 points. It's nothing, only 500 points. Only the normal size of a weekly trade, isn't it? What was making me laugh yesterday is people were saying, oh, it wasn't the biggest day on Nasdaq yesterday. The biggest day was in 2008 and it was 14%. All right, I agree. 2008, 14%, percentage-wise, biggest day. What was the Nasdaq trading at in 2008? I'll tell you what it was trading at. It was trading at $2,000. $2,000. So 14% was what, a 240-point move or whatever it is? 280-point move? Bit different to 3,000-point move, isn't it? Bit different. Knocked out here for in the money on the runners here. I still think we can absorb and go higher. All right, the look we are starting to build here is this, but I'm just going to let this build out into the new hour. So that's what made me laugh when they're like, well, percentage-wise, it was bigger in 08. Yeah, fantastic. Whoopie-doo. Like I said, this is looking good. Probably should have given it room, but I'm not willing to give this market room right now. Yeah, biggest range day. Exactly, Vince. Biggest range day by a country mile. This looks good. This inverted head and shoulder looks good. I think you're just going to keep squeezing out here. Look very, very strong to run that high of day now. High of day on the New York session will be 871s. And if you can start to flip flow zones, if we can start to get some bullish momentum there, it'd be great. Like I said, I'm knocked out of this now. Happy to join this whole day ahead. Happy to rejoin if it proves itself to me. We've got another 8 minutes until the new hourly bar, which is probably what I'm going to wait for. You're trading inside previous day, and you're trading inside the opening range, and you're trading inside Asia right now. So expect a little bit of chop until it proves itself to get out of that. Right, but if you took that first trade, or you even took that last dip, it might not look like nothing. If you took that last pullback in to here, there's 100 points. I actually can't believe that. There's 100 points for you. If you took the hold of this blue box and imbalance for this shoulder, there's a 100-point trade for you. It is insanity right now. Insanity. I don't blame you if you're sitting your hands and you're like, I can't handle this. This is too big. I do not blame you at all. I feel very much the same. Like I said, I had a call with NinjaTrader yesterday. They are testing the Flowzone Pro indicator, doing some quality control, making sure I'm legit before we offer it live to the market. And I said to them, hey, if you can talk to CME and if you can do a micro of a micro like they've just done for gold, that'd be fantastic. I wouldn't mind trading 1/10 of a micro right now so I can have multiple, let's call them micros. Let's call them midgets. I wouldn't mind trading a midget right now. A $2 per 10 point would be nice because we're moving 100 points like that. It's too much. A nano, yeah, a nano. A macro, that would be massive, wouldn't it? A macro exister. Macro would be huge. Is that the quote from the gentleman? What, the midget? A nano, yeah. Can we have a nano? They just launched it for gold. Because gold's got so expensive now that they've just launched it. Which I think is great. Trading a midget, yeah. Probably not the most politically correct thing I've said in my life, is it? If anyone's been caused offense by that, I am sorry. I'm not referring to your height. I'm referring to size of candles. And that's about it. All right. 6 minutes. If we stay like this, they're going to have to, CME are going to have to launch something. They're going to have to, because people are going to feel uncomfortable. A lot of money can be made in these markets. A lot of money can be lost as well. Yeah, Scrooge, can you imagine? Alex cancelled for referring to traders as midgets would be the headline or something. Exactly, JD Florida man. I do think the same. I do think the same. They're gonna get, if it's not just it's the range, isn't it? If the range stays big, they're gonna have to launch something. I don't think this range stays like this for too long though. It will calm down. Well, I hope it calms down. Back towards those Asia lows. Like I said, flat on this right now. It had the chance to build that shoulder, wasn't able to do it, gave you a 100-point rip, and then trading back down towards low of day. We're still inside your opening range. We are still inside your overnight. I just want to check the RTH here for PO. We are trading right on yesterday's value area high. So it needs to hold this. If it doesn't hold this, I think we trade all the way down to 350s around here. So just based on yesterday is what I'm looking at. If you're wondering what I'm looking at, I've just shifted to this today just because yesterday's range was so big. So this is a 30-minute chart. Just because yesterday's range was so big, we're sitting on yesterday's value area high. It has the chance to do this for the gap fill. If it fails to do that, we come back into these levels. Same thing we've talked about pre-market. It's the same plan. It's just I've used VPOs in a 30-minute today as confluence. I've removed that 5-minute chart because the 5-minute chart is not going to show me much in this market. I need to go higher time frame. I need to understand where the liquidity is. I don't teach this stuff, VPOs. I'm happy to do a lesson for it if people are actually interested, but it works very much the same way as SVP. All right, it's the same principle as session volume profile. The main difference is rather than looking at volume, it's looking at time spent in an area, because I know when we have days like yesterday, when we do these massive short squeezes, time spent in an area is not very much, and this helps me see where we've spent time and where we haven't. Obviously, volume is built over time. I reckon we've got at least 90 days of it, Aaron, that's for sure. Simon, you use TPO, very useful. Yeah, I love TPO. Honestly, normally I just look at SVP. It's all I really need, as most of you will know. On the hourly, I'm always have an SVP here for point of control and value. But on days like yesterday, when we do big moves very, very quick, I do like to refer back to a TPO just to have a very, very quick look of what it considers value, where people might defend levels. Let's have a quick look at the mag again then. Tesla, 6% down, or just under 6% down. Nvidia, 5.16% down. Meta, just under 4% down. Google, relative strength, 1.68% down. Amazon, 3.31% down. Microsoft, 2.25% down. Apple, just under 3% down. I agree, Brian. Yeah, exactly. It's nice, isn't it, when it's good to just see things like yesterday where we build the volume and we drive away from it. It helps me think I want to be a buyer. It's just, where can I be a buyer? If we leave volume at a high and we sort of stay up and around there, then it makes me think, hey, there's a good chance of a reversal here. They start pulling back aggressively away from a level where we've built volume. That's when I'm looking for reversal days. So yesterday was a good example of that, except we did it intraday, right? We did it intraday, but we left that volume at the lows. New hourly candle and 4-hour candle coming here in 2 minutes, folks. Keep saying there's a Truth Social post, Trump celebrating cooler inflation. Oh, it must be because of him. No, it isn't. Nothing to do with him. If anything, he's caused the opposite. It is funny. I think we're going to hear about the biggest transfer of wealth in a few years based on what's happened in the last week. I would love this market to come back towards lows and maybe set a new low from selfish points so I can buy long term. I didn't get a chance to really get much in the market on that big pullback. I know SPY came to the 61. Everyone in Discord knows the levels I was looking at. And we talked about maybe getting our feet wet straight away where it was. But I had to open up new brokerage, move some money across. It's the first time I've had to do it with the green card. It took some time for them to accept my green card and then see my passport and my bank account and convince them that I am the same person. And because of that little time delay, I didn't get anything in the market. Apple didn't pull back with the Nas very far. 3% back is pretty good. 3% back. If you take Nvidia and Tesla out the equation, remember they've been the weak ones all year. All right, look at everything else. Meta, just under 4%. Google relative strength, 1.8%. Amazon, 3.5%. Microsoft, 2.5%. Apple, 3%. All right, so call it the Mag 5. Ignore Tesla and Nvidia. The rest of the Mag 5, very, very similar. If I've not got a gold card, I've only got a green card. Here we go. New hourly candle. Injection of liquidity there. Looking at the tape here. Sellers all the way up at 19,200 right now. Not much on the bid down here. Sorry. I understand what you're saying. More recently. Understood. I understood what you mean. Yeah, holding a bid well is what you're saying. I get what you're saying there. So let's have a look here. So underneath the opening range right now, underneath Asia, that last drift back inside, remember this was Asia level, finding rejection. If we stay heavy here, where can we go? We can go all the way down here. It is possible. It is absolutely possible it does that move today, folks. We are in a higher time frame liquidity building stage, like we talked about, and a lower time frame bearish move. Why higher time frame liquidity building? Let's go to the daily. Where are we going to build liquidity between here and here? What is this? 5-day, 20-day support structure, resistance structure. It can build liquidity out here. All right. And if bulls come back in the market, we can do this move. Like I said, this bull flag can build out on a daily. It doesn't have to happen in one day. It doesn't have to happen today or even tomorrow. It can take time. We might need to digest this move a little bit. I do think there's a good chance bulls step back in the market for at least a drive up to retest overnight highs. And like I keep saying, it does not have to happen today. Yesterday was an exaggerated move. Just remember that. I am interested in being a buyer down here. Just based on structure, based on value, based on lots of things, I'm interested in being a buyer down here. We had an attempt here. It's not holding. Maybe we drift lower. If it wants to hold in this gap, that's by all means fine. But I'll definitely need to wait for structure at that point. Seeing some heaviness coming to this market right now. We're going to watch the spiders as well because cash is going to give us a good clue here. We've got an old high hit. SPY's coming right into it. All right. I'd say SPY into 527 down to 525 is a big level. That's the level. That's the equivalent of this level. We're currently trading at 528. All right. So SPY can trade into that RBS level. So what we're looking at, that RBS level on SPY. Definitely can do it. What's that level on the Qs? Let's have a look. That level on QQQ would be a trade into 443. 443 down to 438. Qs find a bid down there. It'd be the same thing. So far, flow on the day is bearish, but things can change very, very quickly. Remember, my bias is to look for buys at value. Not thinking about the shorts here. I know there's a 400-point short here up for grabs if it wants to go, but really, like I say, I like to focus where I think high time frame traders want to or what they want to do. Right now, I think this is a pullback leg on the higher time frame to set a potential daily higher low. If that changes, I'll change with it. 525 SPY was highs 2 days ago. Yeah, exactly, Ty. So you're looking for a trade into that. If you zoom out on like a 15-minute trade, you've got that high from Friday and that high from Tuesday. And if this pullback and holds it, that would be resistance becomes support. Very simple RBS. Same thesis on this level down here. But remember, cash players, they matter in the market. So that's why we're watching ETFs as well. A lot of money was made on options yesterday, so even more reason to be watching the ETFs today. So far, finding a bit of a bid. I'd say a bit of a bid in no man's land. It would really have to reclaim 75s here for me to be interested in doing anything. 750 maybe, all the way up here. It's got to reclaim all of this for me to be interested as a bull. I'm not going to bid down there, and I'd need to see structure shift. Right now, we've had the chance for the squeeze. They couldn't hold on, so we've gone bearish, right? Until we see something like this for me to get involved in, I'm not touching it to the long side. I'm not going to bid against it, all right? If they want to let the bid go and just slam the ask on the way down, I'm not going to bid against it. I'm not bidding against that. Not trying to be brave in this market. Just trying to join if and when it becomes ready. Everything laid out from pre-market so far. So we're seeing what we wanted. Right now it has to either recover or come down to the next level to poke my interest. Like we say, sniper in the market. Absolute sniper in the market, not looking to do anything other than that. Now we're testing that opening range. We're testing the lower end of the orb. Do we have effectively a failed auction underneath the orb right now? Orb is here, 15 minutes, trade inside, maybe can attack the top side of the orb. It's possible, but it would need to reclaim all of this and shift structure for me to be interested. Bit of a wiggle in the tape here. Looking at, for the first time, I'm seeing some passive participants on the tape. For the first time in a couple of weeks, I'd say, or at least a week. Buyers down at 550, 525, 500. Seller up at 875. Finally, some participants are back on the tape. Because I tell you what, in that move down the last week or so, there has been no one on the tape. No one. It's all been liquidation events. It's either squeeze outs or absolute mayhem margin calls. There's been no one confident enough to put passive orders on the tape. This is the first time I've seen it in what feels like forever, which is nice. We can start doing that again and start building some confidence to trade some size in this market again. Structure remains bearish here, folks. We're underneath the orb. We're underneath Globex. We have the chance to trade all the way down to 300s here, 350s. And this is what it's looking like is attempting to do. SPY getting close now. So the only thing I'd be careful about, if SPY holds 27s to 25s, you can even call it 23s, that's where they're going to find a bid. All right, so SPY almost at its RBS level. What am I trying to say here? SPY basically is here. Right, and it's getting very close to trading into this level. So if they find a bid on the spiders, it might be that Qs find a bid in sort of no man's land because they bid the whole market up at once. So just got to be careful there. Still rejecting opening range for now, folks. Still rejecting it. VIX trying to build a bit of a bid here. Potentially drive up towards 39. I would say a break of 39 today is a big, big problem. If VIX breaks 39 today, it's got a flipping massive gap. All right. 39 would take it straight to 41.80, through that all the way to 47s. If VIX does that today, you can say goodnight to the market. Coop saying, I'd rather be on the sidelines wishing I was in a trade than to be in a trade wishing I was not. Sometimes it's best to watch and just let it shake out, just like Alex does. Yeah, absolutely. If you're not comfortable, just sit on the sidelines, all right? Do not put your capital at risk. If there's not a setup here that you're like, yes, I want to take this. If you're an opening range trader, this might be you know, a short setup for you. We're retesting that orb. If you're confident we're going down to 350, this might be a short setup for you. It's not something I'm looking to trade, but it's there for you if you want to trade it. The flow zones are there, Asia's there, the opening range is there. It's possible it wants to trade lower. But again, I'm not comfortable taking that trade today. I'm thinking we have another squeeze up higher. My biggest problem is it's going to do it today or tomorrow or maybe next week. So I'm fixated or looking for long opportunities in this market right now for some, at least to close the gap and maybe some follow through upside. That's what I'm more looking for rather than trying to short after we've already failed. We're already down 611 points off yesterday's close. It's wild, but that's what we're down with. Sorry, 630 points, 640 points. Moving quick. 650 points. It's crazy, but that's what we're down on the day already. So I'm not looking to short this down to 300s, even though I'm very aware it can get there if it wants. Absolutely can do it. This bear flag trying to build out versus the opening range. Like I said, if this is your setup, this is a setup I teach. If this is your setup, this is something you can take. Here's your opening range. Here's Globex low. Here's opening range high. Here's a bear flag in the flow zones. You have a clear target down here if it wants to do it. The problem for me is this point here, God, it's the devil, is 660 points lower than the close already. So for me, I don't love that trade, but it is there. It is available if you really want it. Not a trade I love. Not given where we are in the market. Not given that I think these are areas where buyers will want to step in soon. So this is the other thing to be like that I think a lot of newer traders struggle with. You can see a setup. It's fine to see the setup. I can see this setup here. But does it mean I want to trade it? I have to evaluate my risk on that setup. Is there a chance SPY finds a bid here? Absolutely, there's a chance. If we had more room for SPY, if we were only 100 points down and we were doing this, and I think, yeah, there's a big trade in here, this needs to wash out and pull back further, I have way more confidence in taking this setup because my RR goes up and my, what would I call it? The potential for a win is much higher then. I would say this is like a 60-40 in favor of a win. I like trading sort of 80-20s in terms of win. Can this come down to 350s? Yes, it can. Like we sort of talked about, absolutely can do it. But SPY right now is hitting into 527. Remember we said 527, 525. It's very possible SPY finds a bid there. And that's the one thing that scares me a bit. Looking for confluence. VIX trading up towards its supply right now. Remember, a breakout on the VIX today would need to be a break through 39s. It's currently trading at 38.16. It's possible. If it breaks through 39s, we might get a waterfall moment. So if you're in this, playing it, congratulations. It's beyond what I want, but like I said, there is a setup there for you. Again, if you took that, it's probably offered really good risk reward. You're up 100 points already. This is already 100 points. Kind of wild. Absolutely wild. SPY finding a bid there off 27s. Can trade down to 25s if it wants, but this is the first tap into that RBS level on the spiders, all right, and it's finding a bid. Remember, if we're looking at that level on ES, you're looking for it to hold 5,300. I would expect it to try and find a bid around 5,300 on the ES if it gets down there. Watching VIX for confluence. If VIX, like we keep talking about, breaks out 40, 39.40, market might be in trouble. Market already almost 3.5% down now on the Nasdaq. Remember, normally 2% down is a big day. Normally. There's the bounce off 527s on the SPY like we talked about. This is why I didn't like this move for me personally. It's understanding where we are in the market. How low can we go before it gives us the option to bid it back up? Do me a favor, team. At least 50 of you in here haven't smashed that like button. Smash the like button for me. Let's get it over 100. Then I don't have to talk about it anymore. We've got a clear game plan. We had one attempt at the long. Waiting now to see if it drifts into an area where I'm interested. Some of you might be short versus the opening range and Globex. That's also absolutely fine. Like I said, there is a trade there if you like it. It's not something that I like today, but it's there if you like it. You do not have to trade the same as me all the time. Yeah, Logan, you can't you cannot use a 30-point stop loss in this market. If your ATR is above 30 points, it's not going to work, is it? Because your swing point's going to be way, way beyond that. Here's the bounce again off SPY. It does not want to let go of those 27s. All right, it's dipped into RBS and it keeps soaking off it. I'd like one shove lower and then see shorts get trapped and buyers come in. Exactly what Coop's saying. You've got to do it based on where the trade is no longer valid. It does not care about the size of your stop in this market. If you're using fixed stops based on what you're comfortable losing and not basing it off structure, it will not give two damns about it. And, you know, current ATR in the morning session as an average is about 65 points as an average, maybe 55 points. So a 30-point stop loss, you'd have to time it absolute perfection. Still holding firm versus that opening range, still not traded back into opening range, still in a sell versus that opening range for now. Your risk management dictates that, so you'll need the nano instruments. Well, nano still won't help you with the 30-point stop, but I get what you're saying. You need a nano instrument so you can have a 300-point stop. So here we go, back to the opening range low, and flow zones. We're trading back into them. Does it trade through these and start to shift structure? You can see SPY found a dip right off the level. We said 27s. Basically, I can try and pull it over, but my actual level was 26.76 all the way down to 22.98, but we wanted 25s to hold. Looks pretty good so far. I wouldn't mind one more flush out lower and then a turn. Very patient here, folks. Got to be very patient. VIX just up a cool 12% today. Gold continues to be the hedge, up 2.73%. Amazing. VIX rejecting supply there so far. If we can start to find a bid here, this is what you want to see. If VIX is going to reject that supply and come back down to the bottom side of its range, back down towards 35s, and the market finds a bid here, then it's potential for that squeeze mode. Still a bit early to be talking about it, but it's potentially getting ready to do it. Like I said, I'd like one more flush down, come deep into the RBS, show me that buyers are there. I can see buyers are there on the tape. I can see them there at 550, 525, 500. They're there telling me that they want to get filled in the 500s right now. So I'd like to see the market move down and fill them down there. And then see the reaction. The biggest seller on the tape up at 19,200. 661 lot at 19,200. Lots of the market looking for dip buys today, if possible. Everyone who missed out on that giant move yesterday will be wanting to participate as a buyer, but they'll want to be buying at value. Right, smart money will not chase this market higher. It will wait for it to come back, fill some of the imbalance, give them a good value buy. That's what we're looking for. Still heavy versus that opening range. Still flow zones are bearish. Still have that target lower if it wants to go. VIX trying to find a bid here. Still stuck at supply. Big levels coming up here across the spiders and the VIX. Decision times coming soon. Just looking for headlines here. Schmid's still talking. I think he might be finished now. Initial balance coming in 10 minutes, folks. Make sure you're not forcing your way in here. There's no buy on the table yet. The only thing on the table has been those shorts versus Globex versus opening range or follow through. Again, it's not something I'm taking, but it's there if you like it. As a reminder right now, Tradeify still on sale. 30% off all accounts. And if you're brand new, 40% off. So if you're new, it's a good time to load up on absolutely everything, as long as you're a profitable trader. Don't be doing that if it's your first time trading, but otherwise it's a good time. And take profit, it still remains 30% off. Those are the best sales in the market right now. Code FlowZone for take profit and code FZT for Tradeify and absolutely everything else. All right, back and forth here. Basically in a 100-point sort of range underneath that opening range. We are protecting that low again on the spiders. Does not want to drift underneath 27s right now. 527s on the SPY, does not want to drift under there. You're starting to see some Momo come into this market. They're attempting to trade back inside the opening range. Yeah, at knife. What did it get down to, Peter, on the fear and greed? Like a 4 or something, I think, wasn't it? I think it got down to a 4. Something like that, anyway. Yeah, 4. Thought so. Here's your opening range. So do we get acceptance back inside the opening range, back inside these levels here? If we start producing higher lows here, then this becomes possible. I would love to see it into here, but it's not showing a willingness because this was the RBS for SPYs. Like I said, if it doesn't get down there, it's probably going to be because of another market. That market right now is the spiders. A big drive on the SPY. Does it reject this level? We're at key levels now, these Globex lows. If we get acceptance back inside Globex and inside the opening range, there's a chance to move higher. And if they're done selling this off and they're like, right, we finished, let's bid it back up, there is a chance to move higher. Starting to see that shift now. There's 700s. Retesting key levels. Initial balance coming here in 6 minutes. It's a shame we didn't move a bit lower there on the Qs first. Starting to drive in now. There's the reclaim of flow zones and reclaiming these key levels. I'm now starting to get very, very interested if they're going to set a squeeze from here. I would have preferred a bit more of an excess down underneath, but I think this is all from the SPY. This is all from the SPY right now. So is there a way of getting involved here? If we're going to go orb low to orb high, it's possible. Again, that New York Open going to be key. I want to be very careful that this isn't sold into. Don't want to see this sold into down here if we're thinking about longs. We want to see this hold for this move here. Again, the reason this is moving up and didn't get to the blue box was because SPY did get to the blue box. We talked about it. You might get divergence where the SPY does all the work today and drags the market up with it when it's ready. Oh, don't say that, BU. Is there issues with TradeOvate? I haven't had any issues. Let me check. See if anyone else is talking about it. Can't see anything. So reclaiming 700 here. And if it starts to hold flow zones and starts to curl, there is a bigger squeeze move here. It is possible. It is possible. I want it to come back and back test something, show me that they're in control. ES coming back towards Globex lows now. Let's put an anchor on for this session as well. There's VWAP. There's your New York VWAP. The S&P 500, Govindy. SPY is an ETF, or spiders, or the ES is the futures of it. It's the S&P 500. Here's your squeeze through VWAP now, starting to reclaim all these key levels. Really want to get long in this. Need something to show me a way of entering right now. I'm not just going to chase it if we keep ripping higher. It's possible that that orb trade right here was the trade. But reclaiming VWAP here. Initial balance going to be set in 2.5 minutes. Yes, right at Globex. We're positioned very, very trickily so far. VIX starting to drift back downside. 37s now on the VIX. We want to see a pullback here, and does it hold? If it shows strength here, if it's going to hold sort of versus 677s and show me that it wants to put in a higher low, then maybe I'm interested at that point. If it flushes much deeper than that, then I'm going to assume this is a trap and they're going to try and take it lower first. So lots on the table here. It's got to make a decision because because SPY is at that Globex level. SPY is rejecting Globex right now. So it really needs to hold here and now for a chance of going higher. If it can't do that, I'm not interested. Because looking at the tape, there's still buyers down below. Like we said, this still has the chance, if it really wants to move down here. Remember, we've just rejected VWAP here. So we need to hold sort of this level or this level in here to do this. If it fails to do that, this becomes more probable. So far, holding flow zones, holding opening range. And 1 minute until that IB is set. It's a good hold there so far. H1's still bearish. I'm just having to check the structure. Still not reclaimed anything key yet. Very early for a long here, if we're thinking about it. Not convinced yet. Not convinced at all yet. Can definitely be a trap to go lower. I want to see this soak and hold here if it's got any chance of doing the pivot here. Otherwise, it needs to go lower first, which is also fine. It gives us better RR. Tired here this morning, folks. Wow. Very, very tired here this morning. So initial balance now set. There's your drive back into those levels. ES still rejecting Globex so far. This is starting to speed up. The tape's starting to speed up a bit here. You've got VWAP and all the flow zones and Globex all and the opening range low all positioned right next to each other. So you got to let these traders fight it out for a minute. Once they make a decision, it will become clear. Pullback holding those key levels we just talked about. What do they do here back into VWAP? Do they let this through this time? Are they ready to go on a bit of a squeezer? Or are they just going to sell this right back down again? This hourly versus 725 is key. Let's see it on the hourly wicks, wick to wick. So far, we're just wick to wick. Might even be a bit higher, 735. Here's the potential squeeze. Back to VWAP again then. Are they going to get going here? Back to the deep flow zones. It's starting to build up more bullish structure here if they're going to get going. Tough thing right now is Globe. Everything is stacked very, very close. Globex across the board. Same on the spiders. VIX starting to go into a sell. If VIX sells further down and can start to break down, there's more squeeze potential here in this market. Here we go. Reclaiming everything again. Attempting again here. Can you get me into this market? Are you going to let me find a way to get in? It's just really tricky watching the ES and SPY. SPY still under VWAP. QQQ still under VWAP. ES retesting Globex. So just don't like it until we show me convincingly that we can get through it. It's tricky knowing that we have that 500 buyer underneath us as well. 500, 525, 550. And we're midpoint of the IB, also not nice. And we're inside Asia, also not nice. And we're inside the daily, also not nice. But we are looking for that higher low to be set on the daily that we can participate for a squeeze move higher. That's what we'd like. Once they're done selling, once they've finished the pullback. Starting to curl the flow zones now. Starting to reclaim VWAP. It's going to come up and probably try and test that New York Open towards 800. ES starting to look a little bit better now. Can we get a breakdown on VIX? Can we get a way of entering this? He's trying. He's really trying here. I want to get involved. It's just not giving me an entry. It's trying to test that New York Open. SPY coming right up to VWAP now. These are big, big levels. Like I talked about, I expect a high low to be set on the daily, and then we're going to look for dip buys. But it's happened very, very quick, and NQ not being very kind to us in the way it's doing it. But hey, we will find a way to get involved in this for higher prices. Need some dips and washes. Don't want to just buy something in a straight squeeze up. Some selling in front of the view up there on the spiders. Same on the QQQ, came right into view up there on the QQQ. So in the ETFs, we can be patient here. We don't need to rush. Schmid's still talking, by the way. Fed's still talking. Position to the IBs. Terrible here. Midpoint. I really want to get involved in this in a long. I really want to get involved in the long here. QQQ knocking on VWAP, SPY knocking on VWAP. I think there's a squeeze incoming here. I really want to be involved in this. I'm just trying to find a way to get involved. I need a bit nicer structure. Here's your New York Open. If you got this long, if you find anyone else, well done. My prices are correct. I don't know what you're struggling with there, Trey. Maybe you don't have data on, or you've got a lag or something. Simon, yeah, you're in it. Nice, good work. Trying to find a way of getting involved here. I think we, if we pop New York Open, if QQQ and SPY get through these VWAPs, which we're at right now, you're going to go straight up to the initial balance high, straight up to our overnight VWAP. New York Open right here. VWAP right here on the ETFs, folks. All right, VWAP's here on the ETFs, so might find a bit of back and forth here before we do anything more. 18,662, 18,662. That nice on that pullback. Very nice. Very nice. This is what we're talking about. If this holds, a good chance we can go on a squeeze. Very, very nice. Bit of a rejection there on ES into 370s. Rejecting VWAPs so far across the ETFs. I don't think that will last, but it is so far. I have to respect what we're seeing. I do think we're looking to build to go higher here. Absolutely think that's what we're looking to do. Crazy the range. When I'm measuring out the ranges here, it's absolutely insane. Alex, did I trade the big move yesterday, or were you done? I caught a very small piece, actually, backside of it, but no, I didn't. I wasn't even at the desk for it. I had a little attempt at fade off one of the key levels for a very small amount of money. So stuck at 930 open, ETF stuck at the VWAPs right now, looking for this to build some Liquidity out for a drive higher, ideally. Obviously, if we reapproach those lows, I'm not really interested because we do have a potential move lower if it really wants to. But I think this market is looking to find a bid for a squeeze back up. I'm not sure it's got much lower in it based on what I've seen in the SPY so far. It's also potential we go in a range day. We talked about that. It's very, very potential, has a high potential to go in a range day after such a violent move yesterday. But let's see if we can find a way of getting involved here. Holding flow zones, holding VWAP. Love to see us come and close that gap today all the way up to 19,290. Would be amazing. Holding flow zones, looking good, looking good. I've got a little guy on now. Happy to add into him if it starts to prove itself. Here we go. Fantastic. There's New York. Now, I want to see this get through New York, and I want to see that ETF start to get through their VWAPs right now. We're looking good here, folks. It's crazy. Crazy range. Those VWAPs in that New York Open, absolutely key. You can see just tapped into that New York Open, found some sellers so far. Same on the ETFs. They tapped into their VWAPs, found sellers so far. They will need to get through that if we're going to have bigger relief. Here we go. Market wanting to go now, having a retest of that same level. Happy to add into this as it starts to prove to me it's going to be strong. Looking good here. Looking for this squeeze now through the VWAPs. Here they go. Can we get all the way up into the initial balance high, and can we go and close that gap? Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Let's get going here. You will need to see any flush down absorbed, by the way. If they're going to do like a wash to wash out balls, you will need to see it absorbed. I still think that New York Open is key. Sentiment-wise, it can be key. Back to VWAP here. VIX found a bit of a bid there, which is not what you want to see. VIX building a bit of a bull flag out here. You want to be very careful if VIX completes that bull flag as it drifts higher. Does this market need to dig deeper into the RBS before it finds that squeeze rotation? That's the one thing I want to be very careful of. Don't like this shift in momentum. Look at the volume that's coming here. It's fairly decent. If they can't find a bid here, you want to be very, very careful. All right. If they get stuck here, you need to be very careful of this. 15 minutes left until we get a new hourly. Again, we're just stuck in the middle of the initial balance. We are back inside Asia. We're back inside the opening range. If we start failing outside the opening range again, I think market is going to go lower. If we can stay inside the opening range, still got squeeze potential. Nice, Aid. Good work. Nice as well, Peter. Lovely work. Still think this market's got more opportunities in it to come. That drive up definitely got sold into fairly hard there. Still got those buyers on the tape down at 550, like I said. So one worry when you see that those guys still hanging around there. If they'd pulled their orders, I'd feel more confident, or if they'd walked their orders up to get filled to go higher. But I still think there's definite squeeze potential here. It's got to start playing out. And if we can get through sort of New York and ETFs can get through the VWAPs, it's there. Otherwise, there is wash potential lower. Like, you have to respect that we're inside initial balance. We're inside the opening range. We're inside the Asia. We're inside the daily. We expect choppy action in these days. It's exactly what we expect. More chop, less trend until proves otherwise. Still holding VWAP, still holding flow zones. This produced this. This is what you're in right now. If they start to fail under here, I'd be very, very careful. It's had the opportunity to do the move and it hasn't been able to do it so far. Very clear that the ETFs do not want to get through VWAPs so far today. That can change later in the day, but so far today, they're not interested, clearly. Ugh. I mean, look at the MAG. Tesla, 6% down. Nvidia, just under 4% down. Meta, 4.5% down. Google, just under 2%. Amazon, 3.20% down. Microsoft, 2.85% down. And Apple, 3.65% down. None of them been able to really find bids so far this morning. That over-exaggerated move yesterday, no buyers have come back in the tape yet this morning. So here you go. This is starting to fail now. You want to be very careful. You can see this swing low here that produced this high. This is the pullback. If they can't hold this to go in and they get stuck under here, there's a good chance it goes back for that IBL. And that will be nasty. That will probably trap a lot of buyers who didn't get out when we got out, and they're going to get washed out. So let's just see, give it a chance to settle down here, see if it offers any more opportunities downside or upside. If we're going to just range all day, like, you know, I don't like ranging markets, not something I'll be interested in. We're going to range all day. Yuck. These are strong selling coming in here, though. Look at VIX. This is the worry. VIX right to IB high. VIX starting to try and break out now of day's highs. Divergence there with VIX at the highs and the spiders not at the lows. $38.40s now on the VIX. Remember, 39s will send it. Break of 39s will probably send it on the VIX. There's the fail. Like I said, there was divergence there. So you could see it starting to play out. Here goes the VIX. Maybe they are going to come all the way. Maybe they are going to come all the way down here today. Maybe they do want to dive deeper into it and backtest it. Back into the area we found buyers from earlier, but I'm less convinced in this now. Now that the VIX is moving upside, less convinced in this now altogether. Unless we get a flush back down on the VIX. I have to see. Very, very tricky conditions this morning. Consolidating after a huge move yesterday. Buyers will come back in at some point. The question is when. We will get our second leg, I'm sure, at some point. Like we said today, can close as a bearish inside day to set up that bull flag on the daily for later in the week. It can do it multiple days if it wants. Like we said, it doesn't have to do the bullish move today. It can happen later in the week, maybe next week. All these things are possible. Sorry to hear that, BU. Yeah, I saw you talking about that, some TradeOvate issues. It's worth reaching out to them if you've been able to screen record or see anything. 10 minutes until a new hourly candle here, or 9 minutes. Activate, you only ever come in here to say stuff like that. I feel like you're must be in gamble mentality and can't shift it, because I feel like I have the same conversation with you over and over again. VIX trying to build up for that push to 39s right now. Looks like a giant bear flag right now to move lower. It's all I can see here. Inside a range. It's ugly, ugly, ugly. With a new hourly candle coming. Which could drift all the way down to 18,350 if it wanted to. Absolutely could do that. Still got that buyer on the tape at 550 as well, folks. He's still there. Like I said, he never got filled. Sat down there looking to get filled, clearly. ES back, trading towards its IBL right now. They don't hold this. I think it's good night. VIX really starting to get going now. Testing those 39s. It's either VIX breaks out or VIX fails to break out. One of those two things are going to happen. Guess who's Ninja Trader? Alex, QA test passed with flying colors. Please let us know if you need anything. There you go, team. So I will have that available for you guys as soon as next week, hopefully, for those who trade Ninja Trader. Be available to the room first at a discount, and then we'll get it up for everyone else. Happy days. Just got that email now. Happy days. Feels like a dump's coming. It definitely feels that way. I don't trust anything right now. Just watching the VIX. It's got a failed breakout. It's trying to hold its IB high right now. It's in supply. It had a shove. Tried to clear out. Failed to clear out of 39s. Remember that 39s is key as an over-under. Thank you, everyone. Yeah, happy to get that done. That took an awful lot of work. Awful lot of work and an awful lot of money. There's a bit of a jostle for position here on the tape, watching some like light buying coming in and light selling coming in. So it looks like trying to defend 61 fib. Like I said, if they can't defend that golden zone fib on this last drive, I think right back to IBL and a snap. And VIX is still holding its IBH right now. Definitely a jostle for position here. You can see like some more buyers keep coming on trying to support the bid. I don't trust this. I think a flush is coming, but something's about to happen, that's for sure. They're flashing like small lots, which is really weird. Why small lots? VIX going again here, 38.66. Remember, 39 break, and we go Dumperooski on the market probably. There's your break of the current low. This is getting weak now. ES looking like it wants to go all the way back down to IBL. What's IBL right now? 560s. Break of that, 350 is not out the question. 350 is not out the question. Definitely what was tricky there is we are being run by the SPY and the ES today. Qs are not making the decision. Because we repriced through Globex on the Qs. ES rejected it. Clear rejection on the ES. Clear rejection of SPY VWAP. They are dictating everything over on the spiders right now. And we're going to drift back down to where we found a bid this morning. Remember, spiders, 527 to 525, even down to 522. Possible to find a higher time frame bid in there. Let's just see. Yeah, I'm chuffed with that in Ninja. That's great news. Yes, tapping into IBL any second now. There you go. There's your IBL. Here goes VIX 39.10s now. So do they send this now? Buyer still on the tape at 550s. As we start to trade lower here. New hourly candle coming here as well, folks. Just be aware of that. What's that high? 360s. Can trade another 200 points lower very, very quickly. comes your new H1. Through the IBL on the ES now, not through it yet on the Qs, probably coming very, very soon. Now you got Fed Bowman talking, and fantastic. How is Schmidt still talking? He's been talking for like 3 hours. Shut the F up, dude. Honestly, like, it's crazy, these guys. Love the sound of their own voice. Who can talk for 3 hours long? You got a double bottom there. I think this gets taken out here on the IBL. Just look left, DPF'd. Look left at Tuesday's high. Beach boy. Yeah, but can you talk up on stage like these Fed do? It's wild, man. Their egos must be out of control to be able to do that. Like the thought of self-importance is crazy. Yeah, still dangling around that key level, still dangling around the initial balance low. We have no confirmed auction lower right now. Remember, just underneath our current auction is where we have higher time frame potential RBS on the spiders. It's fairly big range, all right, from where we are now all the way down to 22s, 522s. On the ES, that is all the way from basically 3,000 down to 3,300 down to 2,090, or 306 down to 284s. So do they find a bid in there is what I'd be asking. That would be a failed auction. If it moves down into there and finds a bid and turns back inside the initial balance, it'd be a failed auction. Right? If it does something like this, it'd be a failed auction. If it does something like this, we're auctioning down. They look very different, the charts right now, in terms of location versus RBS levels, all right? With ES and SPY, this blue box is right here. In fact, with SPY, we're in it. With ES, it's just below. That's what I mean. It's very, very different in terms of location right now on the charts. Oh my gosh. Why so much yawning, Alex? New H1 here. If they want to rebalance this old H1, they can come up to 661s. You'd like to see a failed auction or something happen rather than just like dangle around. Nice trend tree. Book map, yeah, there's a buyer still here, 550s. And a buyer underneath at 500s. There's just not much we can do here. It's a bit sloppy. It had the chance to squeeze twice today, hasn't been able to do it either time. So now I'm thinking we can drift lower. The bigger problem with that drift lower is the location of SPY versus NQ. That is going to cause major headaches. Because I'd love us to get down into here, but I think SPY just holds us above it. And that will just be a pain to trade off. I can't remember being this tired for so long. Absolutely exhausted. Finding a bid. Finding a bid, protecting IBL. Failed auction so far on the ES if it can close upside. Big ifs, but starting to see it find a bid here. And this can still be a bear flag to go lower. Absolutely can. So hourly can trade up to 50s or 60s. Rebalance the old hour. There's decent volume in that last candle. Here we go. They're starting to bid this up now. So they're protecting that IBL. I'm in this a little bit now, just in case. I still don't like it. It's counter trend. It's very early. I don't love this. I'm going to be very honest with you. Would have preferred they dunked it. But again, it's the SPY that's giving me this feel. I've only got a feeler in here so far, folks. So we're all aware. It's counter trend. I'm playing edge to edge. I hate trading like this. It's not my favorite trade, playing edge to here, but it is a setup. If we're going to protect the IB, it is a setup. We need to see us get through these levels here, basically. 80s. We've already pretty much rebalanced that H1. If you think about the H1, we're pricing into the open of the last H1. If we can get through these levels, we can get through these and these. I think this is possible. I just want to see them turn the buy on. Yes, Trenchy, it's not just critical to you. That's absolutely critical to everyone. Understanding higher time frame is absolutely everything. You know, the 1 minute chart doesn't really matter. The 1 minute chart will help us snipe an entry. What we're looking for is higher time frame all the time. What does the higher time frame want to do? We sold off this morning. We've rebalanced into here again. We've repriced. I would have liked a failed auction before doing this. And now we're looking to take out this upside. Or at least that's what I'm looking for. I just want them to turn the buy on and get going. And then I'll just want to set and forget and leave this to do it. Because if this can go on an almighty squeeze today, it'd be quite fun for me. Almost tempted to take a little bit off here into these wicks, but kind of just want us to pop through them. Not a lot of selling on the tape here. The danger is now you're already up like, what, 100 points? It happens so quick. Giving 100 points back wouldn't be fun. Don't pull back too deep. Don't. I don't want to give too much back here. I haven't trimmed any off. Come on, market. Be kind. Be kind. Thank you. Got to get through VWAP. Got to get through Globex. Got to get through VWAP. If we can get way through those, I'll move my stop up into the money and then try and attempt to let this go on a ripper for the day. If it can build out this sort of shoulder here and get through these, and then I'll move my stop up somewhere from here into here and try and let this take this out. And we can look left, and we've got some liquidity levels that we can think about taking out. These guys here, and then all the way up here. Probably another one here. Don't pull back too far here for me, market, please. This is the hardest thing in the market right now. It's the range. It got the swings on profit are so big because the range is so big. Yeah, from initial balance, yeah, we're already up 100 points from that initial balance. I want to see it build out this right shoulder and continue higher. Reclaim the flow zones. Remember, we're playing rotation right now. It's not my favorite trade. If you're wondering why, it's just I hate trading rotation, but I'm having a go at it. Because the ES got underneath its IB and held. But again, if this wants to go lower, it can go lower. I will take just above a break-even trade on it if it's going to do that. I'm trying to give myself a chance for a rotation. Still buy. What I don't like is there's still buyers down at 550 and 500. I really don't like that. They want this lower, and that is going to cause me a problem. It's going to mean I take just above a break-even stop if they're going to go and give it to them. VIX had a nice fail, but it's finding a bid here on IB highs. Also not what I want to see. Probably going to get stopped out here in the money. Oh, literally tapped me and didn't stop me. Please just go upside now. Oh my gosh. How did that not stop me out? This will. This will. There we go. I'm out. What an absolute hard to tolerate giving that much back, but try to give it some room. Don't mind re-entering in. Good stop in the money. No, it was a good stop in the money. See if they protect this now, but you'd think not because it's a double bottom there. So if they're going to run this low, then they might as well go and run the whole thing. Here we go. That was a good stop in the money, but annoyed I didn't lock more in now. Yeah, it is, but you know, it's just annoying. This is where tilt comes from me when I have like multiple attempts. Running out of time now as well. So either auction lower or failed auction still on the table. I'd expect them to break these lows now. You just... fucking hell, TradingView, you're going to really annoy me. I'm going to end up not using you ever. Right. You'd expect them to break these lows now. If we think about a measured move, it would take us down into here. All right. So if we're going to do that move again, it would take us into this blue box, which originally was where I was thinking about bidding up from. We've just taken so long to build liquidity to get there. And what I don't like, I'm going to keep repeating myself, the SPY is already there. They're going to make this so hard for Nasdaq traders by having the SPY and ES already pretty much into those zones. VIX looking very good here for a break of 39.74s. So I think this is about to get very weak very quickly if we go and break it, and you might get that wash down. The question is, do they trap down there, or there are lots of buyers hanging down there or not? So the shorts look good here. You can, DK. I don't trade ES. I use it as confidence, but you can do what you want. But I just don't trade it. I've flip-flopped back and forwards for years. I just stick with NQ now. Otherwise, it's too hard for me to... Their personalities are very different. There's the wash of the IB. Getting close to that 5,300 we talked about on the ES. I'll wait for that expansion lower now. How low can we go? ES now coming into those key levels. SPY well into its RBS. NQ nowhere near it. Like I said, it's the hardest thing. NQ's got another 200 points to get there. I can't see how it's going to do that if ES is going to hold. You got divergence are going to make it hard. I'll be right back and use the bathroom quick. Look, nothing's changed. Yeah, VIX starting to break out. You can see it. Attempting to break out. $40s in the next spot, and then 42s, and then into that gap. It's attempting to do it, for sure. Market's gone to sleep here, though. It's because they are positioned very differently right now, and it will cause headaches for people in the market. Dip buyers in the markets, this is going to cause headaches for, because they're not going to be able to time it. Market staying heavy here. Totally, Coop. Yeah, 100%. Like we said, we'll get the prices that we want. We absolutely will. Starting to feel some of these buyers now. down into 500. Remember, 5,300 is the key level. As a zone, you can give 10 points either side given the size of this market right now, the ATR. But as a zone, 5,300 is a zone for the ES. That is a zone for the ES. You're into 25s here on the SPY. Nice, Andrew. Tapping into it. Tapping into that demand block on the ES. Well into it on the SPY. Absolutely miles away from it on the Qs. Like I said, this is going to cause the biggest problem in this market. For anyone looking to buy dips this morning, this is going to be a major, major headache. You got about a 200, 300 point divergence between the NQ and the SPY. That is an absolute headache for people trying to time their entries. Just let this do what it wants. Cannot bid against it. It's had opportunities to squeeze higher. It's had opportunities. I've tried the rotational trade. It failed on me. I locked in some money there, but it failed on me. Could have locked in a lot more money. Could have locked in another 50, 60 points. Like we said, overreaction to a pause on tariffs. Still hasn't fixed China. Still hasn't fixed inflation. Still hasn't fixed Canada. Still hasn't fixed the issue with Mexico. Carney now talking from Canada. We're going to fight US tariffs until they're lifted. Getting very close to that 5,300 level. Very, very close to that level. Still got the buyers on the tape at 500. No one underneath that. You expect to see some people down at 300. There's no one down there. Like I said, this can trade down to 300, 250 if it wants. It's very, very possible to do that. If we get under those levels, honestly, it can slam all the way back down. I don't think it does that today, but it could. There's nothing to say this can't come back down to 17,600 if it wants to. It absolutely could do that if it wants to. As gross as it is possible. All right, sub 500. Here goes ES and SPY. They're into big RBS levels here. Does the market want to find a bid here, or are we going back to 350s? That's the question right now. Here goes the VIX. Still a move all the way down to 350s here is possible if it wants to do it. We talked about this morning. It's definitely possible if it wants to do it. You're on the wrong one. We're repricing into here. $5,300 now on the ES, or just under. VIX is really going now. 40.60. Crazy. $5,300 hit. Trying to be reclaimed on the ES. Do they sell into it for a new leg lower? If they start letting go, it could get really, really nasty. Oh my God. There you go, rejection 5,300. It's right there or thereabouts. These are big, big levels. If they come back in here and try and save it, can start drifting higher aggressively. This is what I'm talking about. Timing this is going to be very, very hard for bulls to do, because you can see how we're into a big level on the ES right here. The equivalent of this is right here on the ES. This is the divergence. This is 200 points lower than we're currently at. Understand the difference. Big divergence right now. In terms of positioning, that's what I'm talking about. In terms of positioning, VIX now 40.43. There's a 200-point move lower here for the NQ if it wants to do it. Even more than that if it really wants to do it. And the ES, you would expect it to try and find a bid between here really, and let me just like zoom this out a bit. Yeah, here down to, I guess if you want to do that whole block inside the previous initial balance down to 530, but you really wouldn't want to see it go that low. You'd really want to see it try and find a bid here. If we get down there, I think you might call yesterday a bull trap, basically. You can see 500s here, very, very big level. We talked about it all morning. There was a buyer on the tape down here all morning long. Here comes volume. No buyers lower. There are no buyers lower right now. Yeah, everyone wants to buy it. It's just to get like, you know, is it going to get down to 350? If they bid the spiders up like in this block, then NQ is going to really struggle to get down to sort of 350 to 250. If they're going to let, this is the problem, right? If they let ES and spiders go and we get down to 350, 250, that means that ES and spiders are in no man's land. This is what I mean. It's like they're making it very, very hard. They're going to make it very, very hard here. Let's have a look at the mag again. Tesla, 7.5%. Nvidia, 5%. Meta, 5.5%. Google, 2.5%. Amazon, 4.33% down. Microsoft, 3.177%. And Apple, 5% down. Do any of these guys find bids based on these levels that they put in yesterday? Sort of after that initial swipe up, after the big spike from Trump announcing the news, can they find a bid somewhere in there on a fib or not? That's kind of the question right now. If they can't find it, we're just going to keep drifting lower. If they can't hold an RBS level, we just keep going lower. We talked about it on the TPO. It's the only reason I had the TPO up today. If we are unable to hold sort of 350 to 250, then a trade back down to 17,600 is possible. I'm not saying it happens today, but it is possible. It can give the whole thing back. Absolutely can give the whole thing back. House Speaker Johnson speaks after Trump tax bill passes. Have a look. Thanks, darling. Canada still talking as well. This is kind of the bottom of the first part of the block for me on the SPY coming up. I'd say 23s is the lowest you would want the SPY to go. It goes lower than that. Let me just zoom out a little bit here on the SPY. If we go lower than that, then we're into that actual candle. And then, you know, there's no, like I said, there's no structure. So SPY can trade down to 503s. It's 20 points lower. We give back the whole move. That means it's possible. That means a 10-11% up day followed by a 10-11% down day. I find that unlikely, but is this a normal market that we're trading in? I keep saying it. This is unprecedented times. This is not a normal market. This is a bizarre market. Go back to the beginning of the day, Crawford. It's the first thing I talked about at the beginning of the day. Breaking down here on the SPY. So looking more and more like an auction lower here. And more I'm thinking, is NQ actually going to get to 350? It's not that far away. You can imagine doing it in one candle right now, can't you? You can definitely imagine it's possible. Well, we're coming for that blue box, clearly. This here is the target. They're looking to roll all the way back down into this box. Very, very clearly right now. 350 to 230 is possible. All right, 350 to 230 is possible. Here goes the VIX breaking out. VIX now into its gap. Well, almost. Very close into its gap. If it gets through the next tick or two, it can trade all the way up to 47.22s. All right, all the way up to 47.22s. It's insane. It is insane. This is the market we're in. It's all good. It's all good, Crawford. I just can't keep going over everything over and over again. So just try and check out the room if you're in there. Finding a little bit of a bid here. Bit of an excess low starting to look like it's possibly being put in here on SPY. It's got 15 seconds left. You'd need to see this close the upside though, and it's not looking like it wants to do that. Hopefully lots of you are short. Yeah, hopefully lots of you are short. Like I said, I'm going to wait for the longs today. Maybe that was really stupid of me. I don't know. Maybe I should have been focused on the short rotation we talked about. If it rejects here, there's a good chance we come down to here. SPY's made this difficult for me to pull the trigger short side today. Really has. Making my life hard work on the spiders. Here we go. So we said we can imagine it doing it in one candle. We might get that speed up here. Is it coming? VIX into the gap now. 350 to 250. Very, very much possible. You can imagine down there we might find some buyers. If we don't find buyers between 350 and 250, we can give back the whole move from yesterday. As nuts as that sounds, we can. Just want everyone to be prepared for that. We can absolutely do that. Remember, we talked about that measured move. If we're going to do the measured move, it would make sense. 100% expansion will be right here into the top of the blue box. If buts and maybes, but if it does a measured move, you're at the 161 now, so it's not a bad place to take some profits if you've been short. But if it does a measured move, that's where it can potentially go. QQQ 443 I'll be looking at if it gets there. NQ, bit of a reaction there. In front of our levels. There's some buying down there, very, very small size at 375 now. Can you come and offer me a trade? Are you going to offer me a trade? Look at the daily, almost down to those wicks. Exactly what we wanted to see. Think about a fib on the daily. 50%. 50% would be 145. Geez, 61 would be 17,806. Wow, it's a long way. Mad. It's just how big yesterday's candle was. Absolutely huge. No reason to look long yet. We've had, well, I've had 2 attempts. One small winner, start of the day, and then I took that stop just above break even on that squeeze attempt, which failed to build out any further liquidity. And now I'm waiting. Probably woulda, coulda, shoulda got shorting for this, like we said. Is it just, it's probably a weakness to my game. You know, I've got to know what I'm good at. So I try and stick to what I'm good at. I'm good at shorting, but I'm better at shorting when there's really good alignment. I don't. The idea of shorting when we're 650 points down, looking for a bit more, it's just hard to get my head around. But you know, the market is providing 2,000 points of range. But like, I'm just being honest with you. Like, that's what went through my head today. Like, we're 660 points down. Do I really want to be short down here? Still think there is a chance for this to swipe into 350 to 250. Definitely a chance for it to do it if it wants to do it. VIX into that gap. Yeah, it's crazy, Raphael. Yeah, it's absolutely insane, isn't it? Market's insane right now. Like I said, if I could use a nano, or as I called it this morning, a midget, I would right now. Pretty strong rejection there on the SPY as it tried to run back into that old potential demand box of 290. Pretty strong rejection there, I would say. Oi. Back is sore. I trained back and buys yesterday. They are really sore today. Desperate to get in the shape of my life before I'm 40. Definitely feeling very, very strong. But definitely paying for it. I can't recover like I used to when I was a 20-year-old athlete. Those days are long gone. Yeah, I don't train to fatigue. I did do a failure yesterday. It was my failure week. Don't worry, I know lots about fitness and I'm surrounded by probably the best people in the world for that stuff, fortunately. Very, very lucky. My wife and her friends are some of the best trainers in the world. Even David, who is in our Discord group, is a big, big celeb trainer over in currently trading what's his name? Aaron, who's just in that new film. His favorite to get, Bond. Forget his name. He trained him for that film. Also trained Wolverine. So it offers me lots of advice, which is always good. And 350 to 250, very, very possible. Underneath 250s, I think market is going to be in big trouble. If we go underneath 250s, 17,600 is possible. That's it, Aaron Taylor Johnson. Yeah, he trained him for that latest film. Running a bit of a bid here. Don't like it. Still no excess low. Still no signature for me to be really interested in. But Yes, protecting high time frame algo. Very, very close. You can see probably shorts are starting to cover now. When you zoom out and think about where we're coming into, shorts probably starting to get into a covering scenario. What's the time? 20 minutes left till lunch, folks. 20 minutes left, not too long. As a reminder, those joining the stream, I've got a video pinned that went live yesterday, all about prop firms, how they make their money, what you need to do to take money out of prop firms, and my top 3. 2 of my top 3 still have a sale on right now. Take Profit Trader, 30% off for life, no activation fee, and you can withdraw cash daily from them. All right, so you can use code FlowZone for them. And Tradeify, probably my favorite prop firm by quite some way right now. Quite some way. All right, 30% off all accounts. If you're brand new, they will offer you 40% off. I would take a look at the growth accounts. I think they're the best accounts. If you don't want to waste time and you've already proven yourself and you know you can trade profitably, you can have a look at the straight sim funded accounts. Again, go through the video posted at the top because that will explain the difference in the accounts and you need to be aware of them. Govindy, yeah, you just got to wait. You just got to wait. We need like a bit of an excess low and a signature if buyers are going to come in. I'm not interested in buying. I've had 2 attempts at buying it. I've had 2 attempts. Unfortunately, I've scalped out and locked in some money. I could have locked in a lot more money on that last drive. I'm sort of kicking myself a little bit, but it's okay. I think higher time frame buyers will come in at some point, but they don't. I kept saying it at the beginning of the day. They don't have to come in today. Look at the daily, right? We're drifting in to a daily RBS. We can create a daily higher low here. It doesn't have to go up today. Imagine tomorrow we could do a failed breakout of today's low and then go up. Or we can just say stay sideways, inside bar 2 days in a row, and then go up next week. Doesn't have to do everything straight away. That's the other thing we've got to remember. I'm just going to turn this aircon off because it's just gone on and it's freezing. All right. They're still building to go lower by the looks of it. Still wants to come and test 350 to 250. That would be my guess right now. That's what it's looking to do. 350 to 250. Remember, like we said, we break under 250, 230. Good night, sweetheart. Good night, sweetheart. That's what I'd say. I think it will really struggle if we do that. Sort of kicking myself for not being short in these moves under IB, but I'm going to try and be kind to myself. Big volume coming in here. How many bulls got trapped at those highs? How many bulls got trapped at those highs? A lot by the looks of it right now. A lot of people probably bid it up at the end of day yesterday and got caught in it. Again, like we talked about, nothing has changed with China. Nothing has changed with Canada. Nothing has changed with Mexico. We did have a good CPI print, but that's about it. Yep, totally, Alan. We got very close to that 350 there, didn't we? You can see a bit of covering into that. Look at the volume exchange. Getting very close into these levels now. This is big RBS. This right here. Oh, God, he can't even write RBS. There we go. That R looked like a B. Boop. All right, so we're getting very close to these levels down here where we expect covering. We expect some buyers to possibly start participating. The hardest thing, again, is the ES and the SPY. They've made it really difficult with location. You can see we've been in a straight sort of grind down. At some point, we are likely to get some relief. We can think about these levels here. We can think about this more immediate level, sort of like this. This sort of channel here is a strong selling channel right now. I want to see if buyers participate here. If they don't participate there, like I said, we can give the whole move back. It would be insane to get, what did we close at yesterday? 11 point something percent up, 10% up. It would be insane to give that whole move back. It would be insane. But are these markets showing anything other than insanity right now? That's what I'd say. They are insane markets. They are not easy markets. I think for me that the toughest thing is the size. Crawford, I don't like. My head's fried sometimes. Yes, they literally just got approved about 30 minutes ago by Ryan at Ninja Trader. They will be available for people soon. I will be doing a video with everything. I'm not going to just show it on stream. I'm going to do a big video explaining everything because they're even more advanced than the system here. They have even more levels. So you're going to have to wait because they literally only got approved 30 minutes ago. That's it. I got an email from Ryan and show you. I sent it off to QC last night. Wasn't expecting anything till next week. Maybe you guys can see that. I don't know. But there we go. I got approved this morning. All right, drifting down towards 350s. We talked about 350 to 230. Hopefully next week, Clint. What it all depends now is, can I get my back end sorted? My back end in Ninja is sorted. It's like, can I get it? Because I'm having my new website built. So I'm probably going to have to make them available via Teachable. And I probably can't have it fully automated. So I'm going to do a release to people like you, members of the room first, because I can manage that. Because what we need to do is I will need everyone's machine ID that wants them. And I need to upload that manually into the system my end. So there's no like automated way of doing it currently. So I need to do like a slow rollover to it, if that makes sense. So 350 almost tagged there. Where do we get to? 370s. Still no excess low. QQQ getting very close to that 443 all the way down to 437s. Look at the VIX well into its gap now. 43s. Value area high from 2 days ago would be 241. If it's going to go all the way down, that's where it would be. $350s to 241. That's what you're looking at. They let go of those. Like I said, watch out below. So far, drip lower. This, for me, just feels like bulls getting liquidated again. Just like the way it's slowly moving down is a bit like the opposite of a squeeze. It's just liquidation, liquidation, liquidation on those kind of moves. We have this high time frame algo here as well. We also had yesterday's VWAP should be around there as well. So here we go. There's 350s tagged. Do we get some excess? Do we get exchange of volume? Is this the start of the end of it? Or do we get more follow through to downside? Crazy range. It's crazy, isn't it? From the initial balance down here, another 200 plus points like we talked about. It's crazy. If you're in this short, by the way, you should be starting to cover now. If you took this short here or any short here, you should be starting to cover positions. You should be runners only. You do not want to enter a new short position here. You are asking to get whacked. It's the first time we've really come into a higher time frame level since we had the option of holding Globex, which it didn't hold. This is a higher time frame level. It's a big pool, as in it's quite a big size, over 100 points, but you should be covering into here. Should not be looking to engage new short positions here. If we break down and stay heavy, you can think about it. And this is quite an exaggerated move right now. We might come all the way down. We're into single prints now, right? We are into single prints on that TPO that I talked about. At 5%, yeah, we're 5% down now. Yeah, we could go halt down. It's crazy, isn't it? We could go halt down. I didn't even think about that. Those of you trading with some of these firms, you probably won't even be able to trade right now. I think 5% to 7%, they stop you trading. Sorry, folks. VIX now 45s, straight into that gap, straight upside shot. We just tapped that high time frame algo that we just talked about, the orange line. That's where the high time frame builds liquidity between higher time frame algo and lower time frame algo. These are the liquidity building zones, and starting to see a very, very slight reaction. Yeah, 7% limit down, AJ, but a lot of the prop firms will not allow you to trade between 5% and 7%. So I think Top Step stops you trading 5%. I don't know about Apex. You will have to do your own due diligence. I do not know, but I know Top Step will not let you trade below 5%. All right, that is my understanding. If I've got that wrong, please let me know, but I'm pretty sure that's the case. Up here, yeah. Yeah, I'm sort of kicking myself because I took this rotation long and I was looking for a partial into VWAP. Didn't get there. And I allowed it to come and take me out here. So I made money, not as much as I should have. And then really from this point here, I should have been flipping short. Like I said, it's probably a bit of a weakness in my game. When we're 600 points down, I'm thinking, can we really get 1,000 points down? Which we are. Which we are. 922 points down right now. Off that low, we're pretty much 1,000 points down. Flipping wild, folks. It is flipping wild. I am interested in being a buyer if something was set up, but we're running out of time. 5 minutes till lunch. So there you go. There's a reaction. High time frame algo into the blue box that we talked about. Question is now, do they put a squeeze on? You would need some sort of bear trap down here. You would need to see bears get trapped down here, in my opinion, to really get a squeeze on. And then we'd be trading back towards the IB. And if we got through the IB, back towards VWAP, I guess. And if we got through there, back towards higher day, and we got through there, back to PDC. Here's the reaction. You can see why I'm interested in this blue box, right? Nothing's shifted yet. There's no reason for me to be thinking about this yet. It's going to really need to prove itself to me. Flow zones are still in downside pressure. We have got a topping tail kind of candle there on the VIX. We are still in downside pressure. We're still inside this strong selling channel. We're coming into lunch, into a new hourly candle. 5 minutes left, just under 5 minutes left here, folks. Do you know what makes me laugh? Like, Cap, like you're saying, like yelling on CNN. These folks like moan and complain, right, about like manipulation and that stuff on the market. Then why don't they shut up? Because they're moving the markets themselves. The irony of what they say versus what they do is insane. Really crazy to me. Like they all go accusing Trump of market manipulation, which I don't disagree with, by the way. It's absolutely is the case. But then don't go on public services and talk about the economy when you've probably got positions. Like it's just like the hypocrisy. Do you know what I mean? Absolute hypocrisy. All right, so it's trying to move down still. Flow zone's negative, like we said. No buy yet. It's going to have to really prove itself. But a failure to break down or something like that will allow upside. That's where shorts get stuck, where we fail to break down. But right now, this looks very heavy. But we're in a demand zone. I wouldn't be looking for a new short as a location down here. You are running the risk of getting yourself stuck. Is VIX going to fill its gap? That's what I'm wondering. 47s would be the gap fills. Now at 44s. Wild, wild, wild market. I don't know how these big hedge funds are able to manage risk with this much ATR. So 230s, I think I said, would be the next level if we keep going. Yeah, basically down to here. And if we let go of that, it has nothing really. I mean, you could argue 180 based on volume, but really it has nothing until all the way down into 17,400s. Absolute bonkers, isn't it? Absolute bonkers. Not a bid on the tape today. Tesla almost SSR already. Now over 5% down. RTY almost 6% down. Market in absolute free fall here. No, Traderify does not have a 5% rule. Right down in towards those lows right now. Are we going to go back down to the 5 there? Like I said, they're going to find this very hard to time this because of the divergence between the ES and the NQ. They are going to find this very, very, very hard. Bit of a reaction here on the ES. Nothing on the Qs. VIX, it's got a bit longer to go for its gap fill. It can get up to 47s. It's at 45.75 right now. Bit of a swing there between the buys. You can see it changing. There we go. There's your first signature. Some covering there. You can see it. A little bit of a swipe up starting to happen. Still selling here. Are we into lunch? We're into lunch now as well. New hour. Let me just have a look. Oopsie daisy. Be the wrong one there. And it's still in this RBS zone. What is the candle close on that hourly? 45, 245. This is in danger of going halt down, in my opinion, right now. It's such strong selling. And there's so many bulls trapped. This just seems like yesterday might be the biggest bull trap ever. If it cannot hold here, like I said, the structure underneath is so thin. Getting very close to those 230s now. There isn't much left for it to do. If it cannot hold here, we're into thin structure. If you want to know what I'm talking about, we went over this morning on the TPO. If it cannot hold this level here, look how thin this is here. Can reprice this whole thing. This would be limit down around here, I would say. When we go into limit down, we go max fear probably. No, it does not encourage buying at limit down. Absolutely not. The complete opposite. Max fear. Everyone freaks out, especially after a thing like yesterday. Yesterday was nothing more than a bear rally, a squeeze higher. If they are unable to show bids here, they will freak out. All right. If we go limit down, they will freak out. Imagine how many people bought in yesterday. They will freak out. Absolutely freak out. 'QQQ right to its higher time frame algo that we talk about. Still protecting 200, but there's no excess low here. It's not like one single wick. They tried it here. Everything's still being sold into so far. No buyers on the tape. There are no buyers on the tape, really. Only selling. Got to think. Everyone's stuck. I'd say everyone's stuck right now. I'm so glad that I used stops, man. Even though I've not had a huge day, I've still locked in 4 figures by taking, you know, just over break-even stops in this market. I will take that all day long. You cannot be bidding against this. It's still not shown you a big push and pullback, which has changed direction, has it? Everything is in a bleed. It's bleeding. 5.5% down now. Over 1,061 points down on day. I'm actually kicking myself not taking that short. It's just flipping hard to take a short when we're already 600 points down in my head. Mentally, very hard to do that for me. %50 pullback would be to 18,100 on the daily. 60% would be to 17,786. 18,100 would be 50%. But let's go with that. We're going golden zone, and we're already well into problematic areas. Let's put it that way. It's probably the best way of putting it. We're into problematic areas. Thank you, Aiden. I appreciate it. I'm kind of happy it's coming back down, though, because I almost got to the point where I felt like I'd missed my ability to buy in long term. So this kind of gives me hope. You know, maybe we get another leg down. Maybe yesterday was the biggest bull trap you've ever seen. A 3,000 point bull trap, which would be amazing. That will offer me the opportunity to buy lower. If we use all this momentum and we come down underneath, it would be great. I'm not ruling out a move to 17,485 today, based on what I'm seeing right now. Not ruling that out. It will mean limit down. I'm definitely not ruling that out. We're about to get to 6% down. Not ruling that out. ES coming to its 5-day moving average very, very shortly. VIX now has filled the gap, folks. So we talked about that importance earlier. If VIX broke out that sort of 39.40s, it can go for gap fill. It's now completed that. So anyone who watches the VIX, give you confidence for this move lower. Again, I didn't take it today. Maybe not trading my best today. I've just got to admit that. It is what it is. I'm not going to kick myself. I'm kind of so risk off. I want to be so careful in this market. What I don't want to do is get trapped. It's my main thing. I don't want to get trapped in this market. I didn't want to short 600 points down. Probably kicking myself now because there was a big trade there, but it's okay. Like, this is not a normal market. My priority right now, like I say to you guys all the time, survival. Survival in this market, absolutely key. Volume starting to pick up here. Look, you can see volume picking up. These bulls are getting absolutely wrecked. These bulls are getting wrecked at the moment. Exactly, Louis. Exactly that. Just be glad you're not losing money. Here's a back test of 200 220s. Part of me is like, what did Yellen say? Like, did she also not buy the market up? And she's like, let's dump this down further. Retesting 250s. If there's a big cover here, don't be surprised if this moves very, very fast. All right, like I said, you should not be short in this. Well, you should have been short in this, but you should have been taking profit into that blue box. We've drifted under that blue box now, remember. Here's a bit of covering here. There are some sellers at 325s. 275, 325. Not a lot, I would say, by the way. Can easily swipe. Can absolutely easily swipe if they want to. Yeah, maybe it goes back to 300 to go back down. I definitely wouldn't be thinking about the long here, that's for sure. Like, we're very, very, very weak. This would have to really, really change direction. But what I would say is VIX has filled its gap. I mean, the look on the, if you look at VIX on a 5 minute, it's actually wild. But this is the market we're in. Like we keep talking about, we can only trade what's in front of us. This is the market we're in. This is the first 5 minute bar, which is about to close now. Or sorry, 1 minute left. If we close bullish on this 5 minute bar, it might be the first chance this market to get any relief at all. There we go. Don't be surprised if they rip this a little bit here. They might need a bit of relief. You got this algo still here. Still in a strong selling channel, aren't we? Still in a strong selling channel. This can still go limit down if it wants today. 5.37% down right now. Into the key. This is the key level. If it cannot hold this, there is so much room beneath. It is disgusting because it can reprice that Trump candle. They can't find a bid here. I'd be so worried for this market in general. All right, I'm probably going to go here because I don't think I'm going to get another trade. And, you know, probably a bit kicking myself a bit for not taking the short opportunities when they were there. It is what it is. And we come back tomorrow. We made some money, just over 1,000 points up. That will have to do for the day. 1,000 points, $1,000 up. that will do for the day, and we'll come back tomorrow. As long as I survive this market, I'm here to trade another day tomorrow. That is all that matters. That's all that matters. Hopefully the same for you lot. Hopefully the same for you lot. All right, just size down. Only take the setup when it's absolutely clear and obvious. Do not be adding into losers in this market or ever, right? Because you will get clapped. And I'll be back tomorrow. We'll see what we get. This range is crazy. Let's see what we get tomorrow. Because this is this is nuts, man. Like, I actually can't believe what I'm looking at when I'm looking at those daily candles and the size of them. Back-to-back candles, like huge move up, huge move back down. It's wild. And we'll be back tomorrow. Please trade safe. Please use hard stops. Please just know any headline will absolutely rip or tank this market. Be very, very careful. Peace and love, everyone. Catch you later.